Alright, today I want to take you through a question which came up on one of the past papers, which is the Tuesday 9th of November 2010, and it's the non-calculator paper. So let's take a look at that question. Okay, so question 17 says, construct the graph of x squared plus y squared is equal to 9. And what you need to understand with equations of circles is that it's made up of three parts. The first part, which is this one here, the x squared, that part here, which is the y squared, and the last part here, which is the 9. And the most important thing you need to remember is that the 9 here represents, is basically the radius. But you have to write it in a different form, and you need to remember that the equation of a circle can be written as x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared, and r is basically the radius of the circle. So if we compare the original equation and the form that we need to write it into, we can see that the 9 is not a square number. So how can we write 9 as a square number so that we can find the radius? And we know for a fact 9 can be written as 3 squared, because 3 squared is equal to 9, and it's the same thing. So therefore I can rewrite this as x squared plus y squared is equal to 3 squared. And when you write it like that, you have something called the radius, which is 3 now. Yeah, so we have the radius, and we can use this information to draw a circle. The other thing you should also remember is that whenever a circle is written in the form x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared, the center of the circle is at 0. Okay, so let's just write that as well. So center is at 0, 0. Now let's go ahead and draw the circle. So we know for a fact the center is going to be right here for the circle, and it's going to have a radius of 3. So I know for a fact that this is 1 centimeter, 2, and 3. So it's going to go all the way up to here, there, there, and it's going to reach the -3 as well at the bottom. The next thing you're going to do is take a compass, place the point at the center, make sure that you open it wide enough, and there, and now draw the circle. Okay, so remove this, and as you can see, you've got a circle. Now, for some reason, he hasn't touched exactly every single corners here, but when you do it, it's going to be quite accurate and it's going to be done properly. Now, the next thing we need to do on the question, once we've drawn the circle, is by drawing the line x plus y is equal to 1 on the grid, we have to solve the equation x squared plus y squared is equal to 9 and x plus y is equal to 1. Now, in order to do that, what you need to do is draw this line first, and then we're going to use it to find the solution to those two simultaneous equations. In order to draw x plus y is equal to 1, you need to rearrange it in the form y is equal to mx plus c, and you can easily achieve that by taking the x onto the other side. So what you can do is look at this equation and take away x on that side and take away x on that side, and what's going to happen is the x is going to cancel out, and on that side you're going to be left with just a y, and on the other side you're going to have 1 minus x, so 1 minus x. And now that it's written in the form y is equal to mx plus c, you can use that to draw the line. So how do you draw the line of y is equal to 1 minus x? Well, to draw that, I'm going to make a small table. So let's just make a small table quickly. And on that small table, I'm going to work out the value of x and y. So split up that table in two, and just like so. Write x at the top, y at the bottom, and put the value of 0, 1, and 2. You only need 3 values, okay, so this is extra. And at the bottom, you're going to try to figure out the value of y, and this is how it's done. You're going to take that 0, and you're going to substitute it into the x here, which means that you're going to replace the x with the 0, and then you can ask yourself how much it's going to give you as the value of y. So let's do it for the first one. We're going to do 1 take away 0, and 1 take away 0 is equal to 1. So I'm going to write 1 in my table. The next thing I'm going to do is take the value of 1 as my x, and I'm going to replace it into this equation again, and then I'm going to ask myself how much is 1 take away 1, and that's equal to 0. And for the last one, I'm going to replace x with 2, so I'm going to do 1 take away 2, and that gives me minus 1. And what you have now is a table of coordinates that you can use to plot points. So to do that, I'm going to look at the first one, and the first one says to me that the x value is 0 and the y value is 1. So I'm going to go ahead on my grid here, my set of axes, and I'm going to look for 0 across and 1 up, and that point is right here. If I look at the second one, it's 1 across and then 0 up. So I'm going to go 1 across, and 0 up means that I'm going to stay right here. And the last one is 2 across and minus 1 down. So starting from 0, I'm going to go 2 across and then minus 1 down, and that point goes right here. And as you can see, you've got 3 crosses that are aligned together. So your next job is to take a ruler and join the 3 lines together. Excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and take a ruler, and I'm going to join my points. And what you want to achieve is when you draw your line, you want to make sure the line crosses both sides of the circle. Okay, so let's move that up a little bit. And when I remove my ruler, you can see that this line is crossing the circle at two particular points. This point here and that point there. And this is a very important point because those 2 points where it's actually crossing, they are the solution to our simultaneous equation. And that's the reason why the question is asking us to draw the graph, and we have to sort of know that we have to use that graph to solve this simultaneous equation. Okay, so how do you find the value of x and y? Well, it's going to be an estimate, okay, because it's not going to be 100% accurate. So we're going to look at our graph and we're going to ask ourselves, what is the x and y coordinates of the points where they're meeting? And we can see at this point here, if I draw a horizontal line and a vertical line, we can see that the x coordinate for this point is about 2.6 up, and the y, it's supposed to be the other way around. It's supposed to be 2.6 on the y-axis. My bad. It's 2.6 because we're going up by 2.6. And the x coordinate is supposed to be 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. So minus 1.7. Okay? And for the next points, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. We're going to look at the point and we're going to draw a vertical line and a horizontal line. And we can see that this number here is about 2.6. That number here is about minus 1.5. So this coordinate there is 2.6 in the x-axis and minus 1.5 in the y-axis. So I'm going to come back to my question and I'm going to write down those two answers that I just found. So the first one that I found was minus 1.7 and 2.6. So for x is minus 1.7 and for y is 2.6. And the second one was 2.6 for x and minus 1.5 for y. And it's a 5-mark question. Now I've taken my time to take you through it. But if you know what to do, it's a very easy question to do, and if you do it quickly enough, then you should be able to complete it in less than 5 minutes. I've obviously taken longer because I was taking you through the step very slowly, so you understand what to do. And anyway, I hope that helps for your revision for tomorrow's exam, and I hope that it comes up and it helps you gain an A or even an A star. And as you can see, it's the last question on this actual paper. So best of luck, guys, for your exam tomorrow, and I hope that this tutorial was helpful to you. Take care. Bye.